discussing is software development process. In the last class, we have seen what are software processes, and they have been divided into several different aspects. They are meant for different purposes. So every software process has its own speciality and uniqueness. So for that, let us see what is the software development process. In this, we are going to see what exactly software process is going to be done with. First of all, it has been mentioned here, process is distinct from product. As we discussed in the previous classes, that is, product is different, process is different. Products are the outcomes of executing a process on a project. So who will be concentrating on this? Who will be concentrating on these processes? Software engineering is one kind of a process which will focuses on the processes. That is what we are aiming for. Software engineering will be focusing on processes where we are supposed to develop high quality and product software. So here we are mentioning the small things, that is, a process is a particular method involving a number of steps. Now, software process is nothing but set of steps along with ordering constraints on execution to produce the software with the desired outcome. So different types of people will be using the process in a different way. So software process is comprising of many component processes, as we discussed in the previous classes, something like this. These are the important processes where we have to focus for the development of a software. You can observe here, software process is divided into several sections. First main important one is software development. Now we are discussing that one. Today's our topic is software development process. That is the topic we need to concentrate on. Again, this software development process is further divided into several sections. That is two sections here: engineering and project management. So what we are going to discuss, that is engineering and project management. So engineering is nothing but building up the software. So the software development process contains two major processes. That is, first one, as we discussed here, engineering and project management. Engineering is the development and quality steps to engineer the software, to guide the software, to build the software. Next one, project management, which deals with planning and controlling the development process. So whatever we are engineered or engineering a software, that will be planned and controlled by the project management people. So here, who are responsible for engineering a software? So developers execute engineering processes. So software developers will be included in the engineering processes. They may be having different roles. They may be having a different designations for them. They may be a software engineer. They may be a software architects or programmers, any type of a person. They have been designated with a unique name as part of developers for the engineering processes. Now, who are controlling this project management? So project managers will be there to execute the management processes What are managing processes? That is planning and controlling the development process. Along with that, there are other processes which have been mentioned here. That is configuration management, change management, inspection process, process improvement process. These things have been discussed in the previous class also. I'm repeating the same thing here. The other processes contains configuration management, change management, inspection process, process improvement process. Now, what exactly configuration management deals with? It deals with the requirements. Based on that requirements, how this software is going to be continued. So they are called as artifacts. Requirements are nothing but the artifacts which are needed to develop a software. So they will be managing. The artifacts are managed in configuration management. Next, the other process is change management process, where the changes have been implemented. Why we are concentrating on this process? Why it has been included? Because today the software may be having a basic features, but in future there is a need, there may be a need for adding more features to it. So change management process is needed whenever a software is going to be developed. Next one, inspection process, where a regular validation and verification should be done on the artifacts which have been meant for developing a software. Next thing, process improvement process. In this, it will be dealing with the process improvements. Every now and then, every process has to be improved by adapting to the changes which has been implemented over and over during the software development. Next, now what exactly a process specification will contain? Now here, a process specification is nothing but what a process can do, what a process can have. Now a process is generally a set of phases. Each phase performs a well-defined task and produces an output. Now, according to this process specification, it is mentioned as a process is a set of phases. Now, every phase will be giving us a particular output for us, and that output or intermediate output as we are getting, because they are not joined together. They are individual parts. So no, they are separate phases. So the outcome of each phase is called as work products. The outcome of each phase is called as work products. At the top level, there are few phases in a process where different types of methods have been proposed for different phases. So what are those methodologies? So what do you mean by this? The meaning of the last point is nothing but this process can be adapted to different environments by different methodologies, which is implemented by the software developers. Now, according to this above mentioned topic, we are summarizing the things. That is, process, method for doing something, typically has stages, each stage focusing on an identifiable task, and they have a different methodologies. And software process, methods for developing software, and it have different types of multiple process. Now, next important topic is the process models. As we told in the previous classes that a software process is nothing but a process which is needed for developing a software. So what exactly the process will look like? In the process specification, we told that every process contains different stages, different phases. Now, how to deal about those things? So before we discuss the process models, we have a life cycle for developing a process software, because software is a combination of different processes. Now here in this models for developing a process, we are discussing about the things like a set of phases, and each phase being a sequence of steps. For each phase, there are different types of methods and different types of steps in each steps. Why we have to go through these phases? Because why we are the phases intention is to divide the problem and solve and put a solution for that and get the solution for this problems. Either it may be a business problem or any kind of a application problems. So each phase handles different part of the problem, because the problem is divided into several phases. So every phase has a different aspect to it. So it has to be sorted out and the solution has to be given for that one. So next, the phases are needed for developing continuous validations also. So why we need validations? Because every phase is working to according to the requirements or not. We need to validate now and then. Okay, next we are seeing some of the activities which have been performed in the development process. Now the development process is following SDLC. Now SDLC is nothing but software development life cycle, which contains the following activities. They are requirement analysis, design, coding, testing, delivery, or implementation. Okay. Now, according to the process models, because which process we are using for developing a software, that model will be using these activities according to themselves. Now, there will be different models. They will be performing different models in different ways. Now, what happens in the requirement space? That is requirement analysis. Here, the user or the customer will be giving us the problem statement, and the problem statement will be taken care by the analysis department. And based on the analysis, the requirements have been gathered from the user's perspective. And one more thing, if the requirements have been known or understood by the developer, then they will be preparing a document based on the requirements, that is called as software requirement specification document. In the requirement phase, the developers will be listening to the customers what they require. The customers will be delivering what they require, and they will be discussing the details with the developer what they need, and they will not be sharing how they need. They will not discuss how they need, they will be discussing what they need, because the developer is responsible for developing the things. So developer will be giving a brief documentation on the discussion between the user is nothing but here the customer, those who needs the solution for his problem in the form of software. So the outcome of requirement analysis is a document which is called as software requirement specification, that is SRS. Next, in the next page, a major step moving from the problem domain to the solution domain. So the next step is design. We are discussing here SDLC steps. Now, how this software process models will be dealing with these things are different. The process models which we are going to discuss, they are dealing with this life cycle activities in a different way. I am not sure that this will be followed as it is, because every process model is different, so they will be performing according to that one. So here in the second phase of the life cycle of software development, design. So we have a document here. Before we start the design, we need a document of requirements. So based on the requirements, the design will be starting. So the document design, based on the documents, the design will be starting. The design may be in different types: the architectural type of a design, the high level design, and the detailed design. So architecture is nothing but what are the key things which are part of the system that will be defined here, designed here. Next, in the high level design, it will be implementing the architecture by using several modules or some kind of a components, and how the data is going to be involved within the architecture, that will be seen as part of the high level design. Next, in the detailed design, then every individual module which has been defined in the high level design, the connection between the two modules have to be decided here. So the output of this design phase are we are having the architectural design, high level design, and the logical design based on the document which is supplied by the first phase, that is requirements. In the third phase, we are converting the design into a coding. Design into a coding based on the particular language which is meant for developing the software. Now, the goal of this coding is to design with a simple and easy to understand code. Now, the coding phase affects both the testing and maintenance, because if you are writing a good code or good lines of code, then only the testing will be very less. That is, testing will be very easy when you are writing a good code, and the maintenance also. Now, the output of this phase is the code based on the design. The design is based on the requirements. Next, the third one, that is the fourth one. So testing and quality assurance, which deals with the coding issues. So whatever the outcome of the coding phase, that code will be tested here by supplying different types of inputs to it, and they will be generating test plans for it. Now, what exactly test plans are? So let us say that you have designed one function as part of a C language. Let us assume that you designed a function in a C language which adds 2 integers. But here, if you supply 2 float numbers, what is the result of that one? What happens? So this is a test plan which we are supposed to gather as the output of this testing and quality assurance phase. So we have to design test plans for individual modules here. After that, we will be getting a final code, that is, which is free from all the errors, and the final testing will be done here. Next, we are supposed to discuss which are the models on which the process has to be decided here. The SDLC will be dealing, or the SDLC is adapted to different models here. So SDLC contains how many phases? Actually, delivery is omitted here. Only 4 phases I am discussing here. That is requirements, design, coding, and testing. So these things will be different in the different models which have been proposed here, the process models. So these are the upcoming topics on which we are going to discuss. The first one is the waterfall model, and it is the old model and the very easy model which is adapted by many of the software companies to develop a software, because it is routinely followed model. Now, what do you mean by this waterfall? Waterfall is nothing but it is one kind of a flow where if you start from the top, you cannot go back once again. It means you can jump from a top position to a low position, but the reverse is not possible according to the waterfall model. So reverse is not possible. What do you mean by this? Once the task has been finished in the top level, you cannot go back to top level once again, because the top level has to be giving the assignments to the low level employees. And the waterfall model is also known as linear sequence model, classical model. These are the different names which have been given to the waterfall model. So in this waterfall model, there are different phases. According to waterfall model, the SDLC is different here. You try to observe this. SDLC is a basic thing on which different models are changing their stages. So linear sequence of stages or phases have been defined in waterfall model as: first we have requirements, then high level design, detailed design. I think somebody raised a hand.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, Pawan.
సార్ వాటర్ ఫాల్ మోడల్లో డిజైన్ చేసిన తర్వాత టెస్టింగ్ లో ఏదైనా ఎర్రర్ వస్తే మళ్ళీ మొత్తం రీకోడ్ చేయాల్సి ఉంటుందా సార్? మళ్ళీ బ్యాక్ వెళ్ళడానికి మాకు ఛాన్స్ లేదు కదా సార్?
ఛాన్స్ లేదు నాన్న, ఛాన్స్ లేదు. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ అ డ్రాబ్యాక్ ఫర్ దిస్ వాటర్ ఫాల్ మోడల్.
ఎస్ సార్.
ఎందుకనంటే ఒక స్టేజ్ దాటిన తర్వాత అది వేరే స్టేజ్ కి మళ్ళీ రివర్స్ వెళ్ళడానికి లేదు, ఛాన్స్ లేదు.
మళ్ళీ కోడింగ్ మొత్తం ఫస్ట్ స్టార్టింగ్ నుంచి చేయాల్సి ఉంటుంది.
రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ నుంచి రావాల్సిందే మీరు.
ఓకే సార్.
ఓకే, దట్ ఈస్ అబౌట్ ద వాటర్ ఫాల్. నెక్స్ట్.
ఓకే సార్.
Okay, I will continue here. That is linear sequence of stages. That is according to SDLC, the waterfall model designed itself. That is requirements, high level design, detailed design, code, test, and deploy. So these are the phases which have been followed in waterfall model. So a phase starts only when the previous has completed. You try to understand this one. A phase starts only when the previous has completed. So you cannot start the second phase until the first phase has been finished. So until your requirements have been gathered properly, then only you can proceed to the design part. After completion of the design part only, you can go to the coding part. After completing coding only, you can go for the testing part. So you cannot jump to the next phase without proper completion of the previous phase. Let us say that you are in the coding phase. If you want to start the test phase, it is not possible, because what the code is meant for, the outcome of the coding phase is the input for the testing phase. So you have to wait for it. Okay, that is what it is mentioning here. A phase starts only when the previous has completed. No feedback. Try to understand this. No feedback here. No go back strategy here. Now, next point, it is mentioned as here, the phases partition the project, each addressing a separate concern. So these phases are for different purposes. These phases are designed for different purposes of a particular problem. So separate concern is needed for individual phases here. So requirements is unique, design is unique, coding is unique, testing is unique, and deployment is unique. But they will get inputs from the previous phases, whatever phases. For the requirement phase, there is no input for that one. It is a starting phase. So you should be very careful while gathering the requirement. So in the waterfall model, everyone is concentrating on the requirement phase. Here, once the requirements have been fixed, based on that requirements only, these phases will be continued. Let us say that the customer wants some changes. Let us say that the project has started already based on the requirements which has been given to the developer by the customer. In the let us say that it is of 3 months duration. In the first month, he gave the requirements for the problem. The developer has started the design for the requirements which are given by the customer. In the second month, he wants some changes to the code, that is for the application. So it is not possible to change the requirements here. It is not possible to change the requirements according to the customer at this point of time, because they have been freezed. Requirements have been freezed. They cannot be changed. Once the requirements have been finished, gathered by the developer from the user's perspective, he can continue the design, code, and test and deploy. There is no chance of changing improvements. They cannot add the changes. That is what the drawback which lies with the waterfall model. So it is a basic model and a classical model which is followed for many of the software applications. So why they are using this mostly means here requirements are well known here. If the requirements are well known, then there is no backing up, yes or no. If you know the requirements very well, you can continue with the project. So it is less than 1 minute. We will continue this waterfall model in the next class. Good afternoon all. Thank you. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, sir.